Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
That's right, a legend, man.
Courtney B. Vance, welcome.
Good to be here. Good to be seen. Good to be here.
How are you, man? And when I ask that question, I be really genuinely wanting to know how's people's energy.
You know, I'm a little tired.
Okay.
Coming from the West Coast, but my wife told me to get your energy up, boy. Come on.
Get your energy
Come
up.
on.
And
No, hemming.
she tell you that you got to get up.
That's right. That is right. That's why I'm ready.
Well, you're here for 61st Street.
A new series.
That's right.
On AMC.
It's April 10th at 10 p.m. Well, what is that about?
61st Street is a story of a community. It's a story of a situation. Folks, we all run into it. Hopefully it never happens to us where life happens. You're going about your life, and all of a sudden some incident happens and
There's more
you're
than
caught
incident,
in the
though.
system.
You get wrongly accused of killing a police officer.
You are
Whoa.
wrongly accused. And what do? What does the family do? How does it affect relationships? I had made a decision that this young man, Mr. Moses, he was a great young man in the community, and everybody knows he's clean. He's going to college. So I knew in my mind, if anything ever happened to him, he's not going down. So I have to make a decision basically between my son, who's autistic, and my wife, and him. Because with him, it's the community. As he goes the community. So my wife and I are at odds over it. My health is an issue. I have a prostate cancer issue. So there's so many conflicting issues that it's one of those situations where based on it, the whole community has to decide which way we're going to go.
Can we talk about that a little bit more? Because I always say art imitates life. What does it mean when they say as a person goes, the whole community goes? Because I always hear these things like, oh, he just set us back 100 steps. What does that mean?
It means that there's certain people that, and it could be because in your mind you go, that person, we have our hopes and dreams in that person. It would be if we heard about something about Obama and Michelle, the whole community would be rocked by it, and the whole community has to make decisions based on whatever we feel. We had a situation recently that happened that the whole community, the whole world now has to make a decision about the way they feel about what happened.
Yeah.
About what happened, where you fall on it. OJ was a situation like that where everyone has to make a decision which side of the fence you come down on.
Really? I was too young to really experience the OJ.
You saw, but you saw the series.
You were in high school when it happened.
You saw us do OJ.
Yeah, but I was just rooting. I honestly was just rooting for a black man to get off.
Yeah,
but then the
absolutely.
older I got, I'm like,
Right.
well, what if he really did it?
Right.
But that's just it. That's what white folks don't understand. The root.
Yeah.
So that's the decision, the discussion that needs to happen about why is it that we were rooting.
Yeah.
And then you start to go back in terms of, do you have any idea what we as a people suffer on a daily basis just getting on the elevator?
That's right. That's right.
And see people clutching their purses just a little, going into restaurants, going in and not being served. And you sometimes you get even too sensitive about whatever you feel that and that's what you saw unfold on that stage. He felt disrespected. Right? And so based on that, what do you do? I mean, I heard him. He said that, we suffered it all the time. And at that point, something in him said, not today.
Yeah.
But is that right? Today. I mean, and all of us now are going to have to, come down on whatever side, and, everyone's they may shut him down.
Right.
So, I mean, that's what this Project 61st is about, that I've made a decision that I'm not going, they're not getting him. And based on that, let the chips fall where they may. My wife and I, if we have to fall out, we've fallen out now. I know my son is autistic, and I promised you I'm coming home to take care of him, and you going into politics. But I cannot do that now. We're going to have to find some sort of middle ground in order to, maybe the village has to help us take care of him, but we got to take care of this boy. You know we have to take care of him. I know, but I mean, so it's messy. Life is messy sometimes, and you got to let it be messy.
And 61st Street, it's like that's like an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So I got to stand up for this.
I got to stand. If not me, who? If not now, when? And that's what we see. And it's not a black and white thing. It's a people thing. It's a humanity thing. There's going to be time. If you live long enough, it's going to happen to you. It's going to have, you're going to end up with in the health the field that you've got to try to navigate. You're going to end up in the criminal justice area you got to try to navigate. So you have to, it's about watching this and going, what if it was me?
That's right.
What if my family, what if my community was in that situation? What do you do? Who do you turn to?
That's
and
right.
we all go, well, I hopefully I don't have to ever worry about that, so I'm not going to worry about prostate cancer. I'm not going to worry about that. I hope that you better take care of yourself. You better take care of your family so that when and if it does happen, everybody knows how to rally.
And that's why, just to go back to the Will Chris situation, the reason that situation to me is a broader conversation because it shows that right there being mentally, emotionally, spiritually exhausted, whatever pressure is on him, whatever pain he's dealing with, that he hasn't properly processed, that he projected on Chris, and then Chris being re-traumatized because he's been bullied when he was a child. Like, that's all I saw was one black man dealing with processing hurt and projecting that on somebody else, and that person having to deal with that. That could be anybody.
And then the question then begs itself, is are we going to allow this to be the thing that allows a discussion? Or are we going to go back into our camps, each of us go back, and white folks watching two black men, deal with what they deal with? So, I mean, that's the discussion that we have on our show, is that are we going to allow this mess to take us away from the issue? I mean, so there's issues that the only way, what ends up happening, that's what war is, that people don't refuse to deal with issues. Say, okay, I'm going to my camp, and I'm going to push a button. Well, I'm going to push a button.
That's
I'm
right.
going to push a bigger button. And before you know it, it's a pissing match. And so what do you, at a certain point you go, what's it going to take for us? You done lost all that money. You done destroyed the entire country, talking about the Ukraine. At what point are you going to come to men, going to come and sit down and, okay, let's talk. All right, I'm not getting, okay, all right. But I'm not, all right, okay, well, all right, shake hands. All right, yeah, okay. Now we're going to have to, we're left with the residual collateral damage of how to repair
That's right.
a country and a world.
That's right.
So, and we all going to come down on which side we're going to come down on. Politically, economically, we are all affected by these two men who can't see eye to eye and want all those resources in that country. So, we as with our show, we really are dealing with that same thing. That can we just sit down with the police community and talk about do you know why we feel adversarial toward you? Do you have any idea what we have suffered as a community throughout the centuries?
But do you think they care? Because they know we talk about it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it was in vanilla, if there were vanilla young people being shot and killed, it would be dealt with like that.
Correct.
And that's why when people said Black Lives Matter, that's what we're talking about. It took one girl to be an Amber Alert, one white girl to be an Amber Alert. It took 150 young people in the Atlanta murders for people to recognize, oh, damn, people are being shot and killed. We didn't know these
That's
young
real.
people. So, what is it that it's going to take for you to, do you not see the disparity? That's why people are angry. That's what the OJ, cheering for on the African-American side was. Do you not know how we have suffered? We continue to suffer, that you really, really don't care. And that's what this show is about, that the community said, we're sick of it. And started to, and it started with just, if not me, who? And I stood up, and Rosa Parks sat down, and the whole community rallied around. I love that T-shirt that says, nah, Rosa Parks, 1955. I mean, that's what it is. What is it what does it take for a movement to begin? And it took her just sitting down. It took me and our show for me just to say, no, I know. And then people start to go, yeah, that's not right. Well, what do you need me to do? Well, I can. Well, what do you do? Let me call and before you know it, the community has rallied. And that's what happens with us. The community rallies around our family, and changes my wife, changes me, and all of a sudden, it's not just me up there, it's us up there.
I was going to ask, when you talked about Chris and Will Smith in the situation, right? Well, first of all, what were your thoughts? And now that we understand, right, we talk about the mental thing and where his mind was, where Chris's mind was.
I think it's a mental health conversation.
Now it almost feels like now they're trying to make that his stain, right? All the things that Will did right? And all the stuff that he's given back, and he's helped the community, and he's did so much. That one thing that he did, they try to make that his life.
That's all it takes is one for a black person.
But that's not right.
But now the question is, what's the pivot? How does he react to this? How does he bring it back to the discussion about, all the things that I've done? And it's going to take a minute. That's what our show is about, that in the blink of an eye, one decision can affect the whole rest of your life. And I pray for him. Denzel was right there. He said, at the moment of your highest, honor, at the moment of your greatest triumph, there's the devil waiting for you. And, I was talking to, someone, and they said, I wish, his wife had just, Jada said, baby, sit down. We can't do, there's a line. In life, there's a line that if you cross it, the consequences are severe. He's crossed it, and we unfortunately in 61st Street, a line was crossed, a police officer was killed. And so the question is, who's going to pay for it? And that's what the justice does. Sometimes justice doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter. It's all about, I need this I want to use this to further what I see as my point, my issue. People will use you for their own gain. And Will's going to have to, the right thing to do may be just to go, look, I made a mistake. I'll take whatever I have to take on my shoulders are broad. I've done a lot, but on this one, I'm going to take it. You let me know what I need to do, and we're going to ride it out and get to the other side of it, and I'll be back.
That's right.
And sometimes you just got to take a pause, take a step back, let people cool their jets and all of that. But I'm going to right now just say no. I'm going to take myself out of the equation. It's going to be interesting to see how he deals with this situation, because he's got to deal with it. Based on how he reacts, we react. So I'm interested, like we all are, just to see what he does. I chose to make a decision in 61st Street for the greater good. I was alone, and the community hopefully will rally around me. You don't know when you stand for truth. You just don't know.
When it comes to things like 61st Street, it's interesting, right? Because we see this all of the time. We rally around these cases. Sometimes we get justice in these cases, sometimes we don't. But I feel like we got to rally around eradicating the system. I don't think the system can be reformed. I think it has to be eradicated, destroyed, built anew. What do you think?
Well, it's all about how we choose to deal with the situation. Nothing's going to happen if we don't talk about it. Nothing. And unfortunately, in this country, nothing happens until there's an emergency. Nothing happens until there's a war. Nothing happens, until there's, because people, basically we don't want to deal with each other. And, we want to, because people are raised differently. We were raised not to see we were raised to see the police as not as enemies. As, white folks for the most part were raised to see them as they want to be a police officer. We're taught to, just yes sir, don't put your eyes on them, because they need that feeling of, for whatever reason, gentlemen, I don't know what it is.
Well, it's the root.
The root.
They were the
root
original slave catchers,
yes,
South Carolina.
Yes.
Like, that's what they were there for.
They need that.
Keep us in check.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, we're still going over that same terrain of giving them, what about us? You know, what do you know what it feels like to be the only one in a room, to be the only one in a classroom, to be the only one in an office building, and you've got to turn yourself around? That's what we deal with on a daily basis. And at a certain point, we get, we all know what it's like to be insulted so much that you can't take it no more. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that is, we saw that play out to the greater degree with Will. Is that we understand the indignities, but the question is how you deal with it.
Yeah.
It's always how you react. We can't control life, but all we control is how we react to life. And sometimes, in certain situations, that is the right thing to do. And there's certain people who feel that he was right in defending his wife's honor. But in front of 2 billion people, the question is was that the right thing to do at that particular time? And if public opinion comes down against him, then the question is, what is he going to do now? It's always about, what are you going to do based on what people feel. You got to, if you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. He's got to stay. He's set up. He's standing for love and peace. Let's see how he stands for it when the world is it looks like it's going to come down against him.
It is just scary because those are two 50-something-year-old men who I know both do the work. They both do the work. They both have actively been seeking healing. They go to therapy and everything else. So if one can, snap like that, it's like, Lord have mercy. What hope do the rest of us have?
And that's why, I pray, I hope that he says he's about love, then let love shine. And let it abound. So take it on the chin. There's going to be another day. People are going to go on about their business. Whatever, sanctions they will come down with something on him. And let's see how he deals with it, and hopefully he doesn't escalate it to the, and so it becomes a battle. He's the titan of Hollywood. And so, and he's not black, he's Will. He's not black, he's OJ, so
you
everybody
really
loves him.
I don't believe that.
I'm just saying, he is Hollywood.
We about to see.
Yeah,
that theory
right.
is about to be tested.
That's right. That's right. Because as always, you this.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we're gonna see how big he is, and how they really feel, and then it may come down to well, look, you coming down. If it was a white man, you wouldn't come down so hard. So we're gonna see, and I'm just gonna be in prayer about it because it's a big issue, and there's pros and cons. As in life, there's pros and cons, and people are going to all feel the way they're going to feel about you. And in 61st Street, people, I was alone. Franklin's Robert's character was absolutely alone and hated. And sometimes you're going to be alone. The question is, are you going to stand for something? If you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for everything. So at what point do you say enough is enough and too much stinks? I am going to take my stand, and whatever happens, happens. And that's where we are, and then the world then will be able to see you, and they'll make their own judgments. The world's going to judge, because whatever you do, the world going to judge you. So our show, I chose to make a stand, and I think that's what audience members are going to see, and they're going to put themselves in those situations. Would you be able to stand when the world is against you, when your community is against you, and all you got is not even your family? Sometimes you take a stand and your family goes against you. So what do you do? And all you got is, because ultimately it's you sitting on the side of your bed at 2 a.m. You ain't got nobody but you and God, you and your maker. So
I never got that feeling from Will, though. Like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. I never got that I'm not
good,
black, I'm Will.
Good.
I never felt
because
that.
He's black.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, regardless of the way you feel about you may be Camerasian or whatever, you's black. I don't care what shade of it you is.
That's a fact.
The paper bag don't work.
Nope.
You black. So I
Hey, that's why I laugh. Like when people get mad at certain black people who you may see on Fox News or whatever, and they, I'm like, they can talk all they want and act different all they want.
At the end of the
they
day,
gonna get their nigga wake up call one day. The world will remind you that you black even if you don't know.
You'll be coming around to the churches in a minute. OJ showed us that.
Now
He showed up at the churches. And
he did.
they folded him in.
He had the dashiki on and everything. Have you ever had to check a man over Miss Queen Angela Bassett?
Brother, they better not come up on her like that with me. But at the same time, I know there's certain times you're going to have. There was a gentleman, we were walking. This was years ago. We were in Manhattan. We were going down, we were over near the 42nd Street area. And I saw in the person's eyes, young man who was getting so excited. And I saw we were approaching him. And he was about to scream and yell. And everybody would know she was there. I said, huh? Nobody knew what was going on. No. He was like, I had to check him from a distance.
That's right.
So because I saw, and there's another time a woman came up on us. We were leaving the airport, and we were in baggage coming. And I said, no, she wanted an autograph. It's not appropriate right now. We're, please give us our, because if you recognize us, then TMZ will, and it'll be on. So I said, please, young lady, please give us our. No, well, I said, it's just not appropriate time, ma'am. Well, she was and cussed her out. We were walking with her. Wow. She was cussing us out, trying to provoke her. I said, Angela, just keep walking, baby. Just keep walking. We're going to our car. Just keep walking. I never liked your movies anyway. Yeah, Witch and this. I said, just keep walking, Angela. Do not turn around. She wanted to provoke, and so you have to understand the situation and be able to, sometimes it's time to step up and go, don't you dare. And sometimes you just got to go, just walk away.
So what you say when the door closes? You had to say something. Your mother when the door closes, so you had to say something. Something.
It was a personal, now it's our thing and it's folklore for our family. You remember that time when that hussy came up on you? She said, yeah, I was
You called her a what?
A hussy. Remember that little hussy came up on you? And she said, I know, Courtney, but I said, just keep walking, Angela. Keep walking. Keep walking. Because, what we don't want to see is Angela Bassett hip slapping.
And she got them arms. Like, she's strong.
That's what she wanted to happen. The young lady wanted a reaction out of her. And I said, you ain't getting that out of us. We're not going down like that. We're not going down like that. We done work too hard. And for an incident, that's just going to be folklore in our mind. It's like when you're driving and somebody cuts you off. It's like, in a minute, at the end of the day, I'm not going to even remember this incident. Absolutely. So I'm going to change. I'm going to affect my whole life for something that I'm not even going to remember. So that's the thing that you have to, in that instance with Will, that's the situation where you go, that's good, Chris.
I'm going to see you later.
Yeah, Chris. But I'll talk to him later and let him know, don't you ever, as long as you black, put your mouth around my wife like that. That's between you and me. Don't you ever. And don't nobody else have to know, because I love you and I know you love me. Don't you ever disrespect our family again like that. And we go and we'll deal with it personally. And I was just, and walk away from it.
What if you already gave him a warning like that before?
Then, then that is something that, in life, we don't deal with him.
Yeah.
In terms of our circles and everything, I don't have to be around him. We don't have to spend. But if we're family, we're gonna see each other. Well, because the comedian family is a family. Everybody knows everybody, just like the acting family, just like the music family. Everybody in chocolate knows everybody. So if it happens to me, and with Angela, we just know that's not a circle we're not gonna be in. His circle or her circle, if they're there, we're not going to be there. That's all.
Now I think I read Michael B. Jordan's executive producing 61st Street.
EPN, yeah.
How was that? Was he hands-on with it?
No, he wasn't hands-on.
Okay.
His Alana Mayo was his ran his production company for a period of time. We love him. He blessed us. He's busy doing whatever he's doing. Alana's got it. You know, he gave us his blessing with his name, and we went to work. So, you know, when he does fold himself in via posting or, you know, whatever he does, or just showing up at one of the venues, one of the premieres, we just go, you know, because I love him. I remember at the premiere of Black Panther, I said, brother, why did you let them kill you off? You know, he said, Courtney, stop it. I don't know. I shouldn't have. I said, well, it's done now, bro. So, you know, but, we love him. We absolutely love him. And we know he's busy. Mm-hmm. So his name is on it, and that's all that was necessary.
I want to ask you about something because I think you'll give us an honest answer, because everybody I ask just be humming. And it's like, why was Lovecraft Country canceled after just one season? Great show. Nominated for all those awards. Yeah. Why did HBO cancel it after one season? Ajane was the closest person to give us a real answer.
Well, you know, it's a black woman created it. Mm-hmm. It's right there. It was a black woman created it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was HBO's show. But it's her show. It's a power struggle. It was a power struggle from the beginning. No one will know what went down between the two parties. I just know that she had a very difficult time from the very beginning, and they weren't especially nice to her from the very beginning. And ultimately, when the show became huge, because it ultimately became the next Game of Thrones, which is what they asked for, you know, a lot of times it's not, and you would think it'd be about money, but how did the show end? The show ended with a young black girl shooting a white woman and saying, "We got the keys. You don't got the keys no more." Bam. Now for the next 4 to 5 to 6 or 7 years, who knows where Misha was going to go? Mm-hmm. Do they ultimately want a show to be just to go into all those areas? You would think that if it was about the money, they wouldn't care. And they would be like, just get this girl, give her what she wants. But obviously there was some water under the bridge.
HBO probably did not want their next Game of Thrones to be such a black show.
You know, nobody knows. I had no idea what's in the mind of Misha Greene. And I was in because I was in 3 episodes. I didn't read the other episodes I wasn't in. Mm-hmm. I had no idea where we were going until I fanned out. And, you know, on the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, I was in the 7th, and the 8th and the 9th and the 10th episodes. I was in awe of that gifting. And you know, ultimately I would say that it was, we knew that it was going to be, look at us, here we are, we're on the precipice. Now we're going to explore all the things that are shades of, you know, chocolate and beige and you know, straight and gay and trans, and she was going to go everywhere. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they wanted to do all that. I don't know. You know, maybe it was something else. You know, maybe it was a money thing.
Ajane said, correct me if I think Ajane said that.
Ingenue,
I'm sorry. Ingenue said that she don't think they could see black people doing science fiction.
Again, you know, it's deep and wide and continuous. The issues between black and white, and these stories are about exploring the human condition, and at a certain point, if you have to talk about your differences, as President Emeritus Jonetta Cole said of Spelman, said, you have to talk about your differences until your differences don't make a difference. You have to talk about them. You have to be willing to talk about. We're dealing with we can't even talk about books. They're trying to take books away. That so that, the white and black young people won't be able to talk about. Just let them talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That George Washington was an amazing. Thank God for him, but he was a man of his time. He had 100 slaves and didn't free them until his wife died. So Jefferson had 600 slaves. I don't take away from what he did, but you got to acknowledge what he was in order to be able to see the entire picture of who we were at that time, so that we can learn and not do it again. Right. So the question is, what will it take for us to say we need each other?
That's right.
We can't make it. You can look at people and tell that there's all these different shades of chocolate. How did that happen? That happened because white and black got together. Mm-hmm. We can't deny that there's white blood coursing through us and black blood coursing through. I mean, we're all mixed up together. So, but to try to pretend like that we're not, and that we're better than. We already saw where that leads. Don't nobody want to deal with another civil war.
That's right.
That nobody wins. Nobody wins. Nobody.
I was going to ask, you talk about, a lot of times we have comedians up here, and we talk about the Mount Rushmore of comedy. So, Mount Rushmore of actors, who would you put up there?
My wife.
100%. Mm-hmm. Egregious she didn't win the Oscar for What's Love Got to Do with It.
She's going to get hers. And when it happens, it'll be even bigger. It's going to happen. Meryl Streep, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Denzel, Ingenue. People don't know that she's as big as she is, but she's towering. There's a lot that I don't want to name any more names. That's enough. Mm-hmm. But there is a lot of people can play a violin. A lot of people play a cello, but there's only a few Yo-Yo Ma's. There's only a few Angela Bassett's. There's only a few Robert De Niro's. And when Robert is in a film, when he is a part of we know when we go in, it's gonna be, and that's when the craft of it, everybody can look at the same material, but some people have the gift. Mm-hmm. He has the gift. Mm-hmm. Angela has the gift. Meryl has the gift. And I just acknowledge that. Itzhak Perlman has the gift. I just acknowledge that. Kathleen Battle has the gift. You look at what she went through at the Met. And, divas are divas all over the world. Tenors, Luciano Pavarotti, diva, but would they be banned from the Met based on their diva behavior? I don't think so. They're just divas, and you deal with them and you move on. But what happened to Kathleen, you have to look at it and say, well, if she was a white diva, would that same thing have happened to that white diva? And
I'm not even familiar with what happened.
You do some research and find out. Yeah. But she was at the top of her game, and was banned from the Met. I don't know if it was for life or whatever, but she was. I mean, it was a thing. Mm-hmm. We're about to, see what happens with Will for quote unquote diva behavior, and the society will deal with it. We'll get past it. There'll be something else that comes up. That's what has happened. OJ happened, and it's down in the valley again. But there'll be another one that comes up. George Floyd happened. Mm-hmm. And all of them for me is about, which is what like our series is about. Is this going to be the thing that allows us to talk about it, or will, like all the rest of them, we end up going back into our camps? White people go back over here. Black people go back over here, and we're back to our thing. We're At what point do whatever incident happens where we go, man, we got to work this thing out. It's costing too much money. It's costing too many lives. We got to work this thing out. That's what I say with the police. At a certain point, at what point do we, we acknowledge, we got to stop shooting, taking our own lives out, black on black crime. And they got to stop taking us out, and we got to stop working against each other. That's what happened in our situation. The police were working against us to try to make us look like we did something. And it's like, man, if you would just, your motto is protect and serve. If you would just protect and serve and let us take care of our community and treat it like a small town and a small community, everybody knows everybody, everybody takes care of everybody. Mm-hmm. Can we just figure it, Rodney, can we just get along?
I know what the conversation is in regards to the police, but and we talk about the Oscar situation, it is, what's the conversation? Because to me, the conversation amongst us is, boy, we are broken people, right? Conversation amongst them white folks, I don't care. You ain't gonna sit here. I don't want to hear you talk to me about Will being violent. Go check your ancestors. You know what I mean? So what is the conversation?
I would say the conversation is we are all broke people. We all need to deal with ourselves and our situation. Mm-hmm. We all need to sit down a little bit on somebody's couch and talk it through. Mm-hmm. And we all have a part to play in how he got up on, why he got up on that stage in this era of celebrity, getting passes, and the idea that even comes up in one's mind, and that's on a grand scale. That's on the biggest scale. What happened, but I'm talking on a smaller scale. That celebrities, quote unquote, get passes. They're allowed to do this and they're allowed to do. Oh, it's Courtney and Angela. Okay, let them. And we have to look at that. We have to look at. I always say, Michael Jackson. With Michael Jackson, I loved him. We loved him, but we all were a part of him. Not having a childhood because we wanted to see little Michael up there. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows what he went through to become Michael Jackson. We just want him to be, go ahead, Michael, we do. Oh, Michael, sing. And, nobody knows the pain he was in. Nobody knows the pain Prince was in. Nobody knows the pain Luther was in. Mm. Nobody knows the pain Whitney was in. Nobody cares. Mm. Just get up there and sing, girl. Mm. So, we all have a part to play in the celebrity sweepstakes. And, Angela and I, we're about, we still got to live our lives. Let us live our lives. And no, we're not going to the Oscars when we ain't got no reason to be at the Oscars. we got
Angela got a reason to be there every year. Y'all both got a reason to be there every year if y'all want to be.
Right, but we're not going to pay to be at the Oscars to be seen. We have 16-year-olds. They're the most important things in our lives.
That's right.
We're the most important. Each other are the most important things in our lives, not the business. The business is secondary to our family, and based on that we go. And we didn't raise our children to go down red carpets. They didn't know anything about that. That's not their life. We had to let them be young people and be children. Mm-hmm. And so consequently, when and if it's their time to go down red carpet, come on, girl, come on, boy, yeah, son, go on down there, do your thing. But they know from whence they come, because we focused on each other first and the family, and so they have values. Mm-hmm. And if it's time for them to do that kind of thing, it's time for them. But they'll be in there knowing, that's a line. I'm not crossing that line. I don't do that. Drugs? Nope. That's reserved for marriage. Nope, not doing that. So you gotta have a sense of yourself, what's right for you, what's right. You put a handle on that. It's Mr. and Mrs. and yes, ma'am, yes, sir. So that when you go out into the world, there's a standard. There's a way. There's certain things you can do, certain things you can't do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's just the way we were raised. That's what we were taught, and you know, we just want to continue that. And for other situations, other people, you know, I love Will. I want the best for him. You know, at the moment when he should have been his greatest moment of triumph. That's just the way life is sometimes. That's what happens in 61st Street. At the moment that should have been your greatest triumph in life, you're about to, a day before you go to college, and you'll probably end up going to the Olympics, young Moses in 61st Street. His life is turned upside down. And what do you do when your life is turned upside down? How do you react? How do you find your way back? As he said, I just want my life back. That's a human situation. The jail is full of black and white and beige and brown that just want their lives back. And is there someone that's going to stand up for them? I'm standing up for Moses in 61st Street.
What I take from all of this, my final question, you know, you always seem so present. You know, your queen always seems so present. Y'all both seem so comfortable in who you are. But can you ever truly get too comfortable in this system, this white man system?
This is the system we have. So we really, I see the best in people.
Mm-hmm.
Angela and I both, we want the best for people. We believe that ultimately good will triumph. You can try to hold me down, but it's not for you. What's mine is mine, and I'm going to get mine. But he's going to give it to me. So I'm not trying to force my way into nothing. She's not trying to, you know, we all look at her and go, damn, she should have won that for Tina. Oh, she was, but life moved on. She moves on. And when it's her time, she recognizes that she's not going to do it. She's not going to sit around and pine about it. She's going to keep doing her thing, and you're going to look up, and one day it's going to be her time, and the world will lift her up.
That's right.
Not just for one little house. Yeah, Angela, you just get it. No, the world will lift her up. Absolutely. And I will be right there. Brown and Slater, our children will be right there. You know, the family will be, the community, the village will be right there, and it'll be a worldwide celebration because everyone knows what they know back in 93 when it went down. I'm not going to mention no names, no movies, you know, celebrate the piano. Yes, it's wonderful. But everybody knows lips are all tight back behind the, you know, so it's going, when it's her time, it's her time. And I don't, you know, I don't try to get in nobody else's mess. I don't, I just know what I know, that I'm going to do my thing, and when it's my time, the Lord will lift me up.
Yeah, it just feels like,
and it keeps me at peace.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. It keeps us at peace and not bitter. You know, I celebrate everybody when, you know, this person's lifted up, that person, because there's room for all of us. So it keeps me at peace. It keeps me being able to celebrate my brothers and sisters, all of them, and be able to be there for them, so that when it's my time, they just go, oh, Courtney, you know. And, you know, I ain't got no hate for nobody. It's just, you know, do your thing, support everybody, but don't pull me down when it's my time.
Yeah, it just feels like you can be doing your best, minding your black business,
Mm-hmm.
like Misha with Lovecraft Country,
Mm-hmm.
and nope, you taking that, you know,
And
artist brother in 61st Street about to go to college. Nope, you know what? You killed the college. Like what?
Yep. I mean, you look at Nelson Mandela. Mm-hmm. Now he was minding his business, doing his thing, taking care of his people, and they snatched him out.
That's right.
So he could have come back and done the complete opposite of what he did. But he recognized, like Mahatma Gandhi recognized, like Muhammad Ali recognized, like Malcolm X eventually recognized, like MLK recognized, that it's all about love. You got to lead with love. And let the chips fall where they may. You've got to lead with love. And, you know, ultimately, you know, I know that that's where Will go. You know, he must go there eventually. If he doesn't go now, he's going to eventually come there. Malcolm X eventually came there. and met MLK right where MLK was. They were on opposite sides, but eventually he met right up there because that's where it is. Love conquers hate. Hate don't conquer hate. Love conquers it. So we've got to. That's where we eventually, black and white, got to meet in that middle and recognize we need each other. It may take the Palestinians and the Jews. Eventually, they got to meet in the middle there and I'm not going to separate it. Ain't nobody going to figure that out. Nobody going to figure that out. That's unfigureoutable. He's going to figure that out.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you for joining us.
Mr. Courtney B. Vance.
Yes, thank you so
much. It was a pleasure, man. Thoroughly enjoyed this conversation.
Y'all make a brother think. We went deep on this one.
Yeah,
that's what you're here for, to give out that free jewelry. That's right. That's what you're here for.
Courtney B. Vance is the Breakfast Club. Good morning.